Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. Um, it's so good to have everyone on the training today, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time running this training. I'm sure you can all see my slide. Um, the whole idea is to teach us, or let me say, for us to learn about how to be safe online. Quite a number of us as parents, we have our children online, and we have some worries about what they do online, the activities, and all. So today, the whole idea is for us to learn how we can keep them safe online, how we can ensure that while they are having good time online, they don't fall into the hands of predators that are out there. So, like the topic before me, keep your family safer online. So let's really deep dive into everything. My name is Adeni, and I'm your host for today. Um, let's really discuss the challenges on parenting in the digital age. Modern kids have never known a time when they couldn't connect to the entire world via the internet. In fact, they probably spend more time online than anyone else, certainly more than you, the parents. So let's really say uh, about 48% of young people, are being part of online, and 48 to 66% of in the sub-Saharan African population. This are more like the statistics, that shows that quite a number of young people are online. Um, so I have this question for you. What do your children actually do online? Most people, most parents feel they know what their children, are doing online, but children don't think so. So I need you to use the chat box. Just tell me what you think your child or your children, what they are doing online. I'm waiting for your feedbacks. I'm waiting for your responses. Okay. All right. So, um, what are the children actually doing online? Some of them, we could see that yes, some people are saying gaming, downloading, connecting with friends, listening to music, watching videos. Yes, of course. I mean, many more things. So, but let's quickly see this survey. How do children use the internet? 64% chat online with their friends, 52% watch video clips, 53% play online games against friends and strangers. The digital technology has become a fundamental part of children's life. You can see that quite a number of activities, what they engage in are one way or the other. I mean, these are more like the statistics, and you know, the list continues. Quite a number of things are out there that they do. Yeah, but let's really even get into the whole discussion better. What are the biggest concerns you face in keeping your children safe online? So I want you to use the chat box, like I said, and tell us some of the biggest concerns that you have. I know quite a number of people, have concerns about the sites they are visiting, the movies they are watching, the music they are listening to, and even to the people they are chatting up, people they are having conversations with online. I mean, this are, one of the things, these are some of the things that we've seen out there. I'm sure we have different things around that, but you are not alone. We have some of these things in order with other parents too. Parents need to be more involved, engaged, and educated. My children are more tech savvy than I am. Safety is paramount. I am concerned with what they get up to. when I am not monitoring them. Quite a number of things that parents are really worried about. Yes, so you are not alone. The list is enormous, So, but let's move forward and see the amazing good things that tech can really help us achieve. 76% use the internet for homework and research. 45% researched work and study opportunities. 33% created and uploaded their own music. Parents often forget the positive side to tech, and they should embrace and reinforce it. We want to embrace the opportunities available for kids out there to use technology. You can get access to a wealth of information for learning homework. There are also a lot of interactive tools, games that can aid learning, where to find opportunities for work, and so many other things. So what we are trying to say is that tech can be a force for good. And so I don't want us to see it as being something negative alone. Of course, from some of the interactions that we've had, some of us attested to the fact that our children have been using some of these tools for their homework, for reconnecting with people and not. So that's more like the positive side, and we have to see it that way. We have to see it, as being positive as against being negative. Of course, I've not said that we should take our eyes completely from the dark side of the web, but we need to ensure that that does not affect our decision in allowing our children use the tools. All right. So, but here's the thing: to really have a very good way of using tech, really have a way of ensuring that our children are using it in a way that we want them to use it. So we need to do something. That's why this agenda is very key to us. And these are three things that we quickly want to really analyze so that we can get straight, we can go deeply into why we are here today. Number one is to set digital ground rules for the family. Number two is to discover and manage family-friendly content. And number three is to protect your family's online privacy and security. I mean, we are going to be diving into this, and we get to learn all of this better. So the first one is to set digital ground rules. Every family is different, and therefore the limitations, restrictions, and guidelines you want your family to live their digital lives should be up to each individual family. So your own family can have a different, digital rule from mine. So it's up to you, right? So let's see what it looks like. So what kind of ground rules do you currently set for your family online? Yeah, so I need that, I need you to respond to that. I need you to tell me if you have any at all, if you have any ground rule, that your family has embraced, that you currently use. The reason why we are using this chat box is to help us even learn from each other. So there are some things that we will not be able to discuss. I mean, from our own end, that people can really learn from you, in the process of putting up some of your ideas, some of your experiences, in the chat. So please, let's do that quickly. All right. So the very first thing we want to do, we have like three things, but the very first thing is to establish boundaries around screen time. All right. Establishing boundary around screen time is very critical, which we are going to be talking about. Number two is to create family rules about what to share. And number three is to establish family values online. These are the three things that we'll quickly discuss. So screen time, basically, we can see that screen time can be a positive impact, and it can as well be a negative impact. The very first thing about screen time that I want us to consider is the positive impact. If we are talking about positivity, it's about using your device for assignment, for your homework, connecting with friends and family. I mean, those are positive sides of screen time. And the negative impact could be, can affect your sleep. I mean, the children's sleep. That's that's very, very critical. It's a critical thing because sometimes they can stay up, all till the morning time, and it can affect their activity in school and all. So we need to keep watch of that. Then spending less time with others or outdoors. Yeah, when you when you are so glued to your device, there's tendency that you don't want to go out, you don't want to mix up with friends, you don't want to have any conversation with any other person, you and your phone. I mean, these are the things that we need to really, really, really be conscious of, and we need to ensure that we try as much as possible to guide our children against, right? So, and here's the good news. Google has come up with something wonderful. It's called Family Link, and it will really help you to solve all of these problems that we have identified. So this is how it works. Let's even see the definition of it first. Family Link helps parents manage their child's Google account. So this is how it works. It helps you to be in control of your child's device. So just for example, your child has a phone, you have your own phone, you can control whatever he or she is doing from your own phone. Is that simple, right? So that's the work of the Family Link, right? So let's see how Family Link works. So to set up Family Link, you will need to create a Google account for your child, your family member. If your child is under 13, Google will prompt you to link your email account with theirs. Follow the prompt to accept the terms and conditions. You can download the Google Family Link for your children, from the app store. The child will then be asked to sign in with their Google account. So the downloading process is very simple, and for some phones, Family Link is embedded. For some Android phones, it's embedded on your phone, so you can access it, on your Android device. So what Family Link helps you, to achieve is that you can determine when your child has access to his or her phone. You can allot time to what he or she should do online. You can determine when he or she, is able to access his phone. You can also, shut down the phone anytime, any day. If you want, for example, you feel that the the child should be able to access his phone between 10 a.m. or let's say 12 p.m. To 3 p.m. You just set it, you set the parameter from 12 to 3 p.m. And anything before 12, the child won't be able to do anything. Anything after, the child will not be able to do anything based on the parameter. So right on your palm, you can know what is going on your child's phone, which is very, very wonderful. I mean, we can't ask for more, right? So that's more like what Family Link helps you, to achieve, right? So let's keep moving. So Family Link, keep an eye on your kids' screen time. Set daily screen time limit. Set a device bedtime. Set per app time limit. Grant bonus screen time. So if your child has done something wonderful, you can reward your child by adding more hours to, the time he will be spending on his device. I've seen a parent, whose child just passed an exam, and the parents added like 2 hours, extra. The child was so happy. So it's a thing of fun too when they know that, yes, if I'm doing well in this thing, my dad or my mom will definitely reward me to have more screen time. So it's up to you to really decide. And it's really, really very helpful, when you set a bedtime routine, to lock your child's phone while they are asleep, you can be sure that, yes, they are on their bed and they are sleeping, right? Other than you keeping, trying to check up on them if they are actually sleeping or not. So this is a very powerful tool that will advise, all our parents to embrace, right? So lock child's device remotely. Like I said, you can do that. Um, whether it is time to go play outside, have dinner, or just spend time together, you can remotely lock a device whenever it's time to take a break. So it's up to you to decide, what works, in your home, what works for your family, and I'm sure you would surely, enjoy using Family Link. So, how would you talk to your children about screen time? Now, so some of African parents, yeah, so we tend to load it on them to say, "Oh, this is what I want you to do," and you cannot say no. Well, as much as we respect that okay, in our own environment, um, we can decide for our children, but again, it's quite important for us to have conversation with them so that they can have an understanding, about why they are using what they are using, or why we are making this decision for them, or why we are helping them to make this decision. So we need to have this conversation with our children, right? How can we balance homework, via social media? If your child only wants to spend time online, keep a positive attitude towards screen. So what we are saying in essence is that there must be an understanding between you and your child, or you and your children, in such a way that the child is involved, and he knows that you have, his best interest at heart. So the whole essence of this is for us to be able to really effectively make use of Family Link, is to for us, no, in fact, outside Family Link, when we are having this conversation about what our children should do, what they shouldn't do, it should be more like a conversational thing as against a decision making thing, right? So we don't have to impose it on them, right? So you can have the discussion in this way. Does technology ever prevent you from being present? You can also paint a scenario. You can share your own personal experience. I mean, these are the things you can use to elicit information from them. You can open the room for conversation when you first talk about your own personal experience, or whatever, what happened to one of your friends. So I mean, these are the ways to really get them in the way of also sharing their own experiences, or talking to you about what will work for them and what will not work. How does screen time affect focus, and why does it matter? Reflect on ways to control screen time. So these are the conversations that you can really have with your children. So let's talk a bit about sharing. Sharing on social media is very easy to do, but there are some things that are not very cool with just sharing anything that comes your way. The digital age has made it super easy to share information online, as we are able to connect with friends and families through our mobiles and social media. However, with this accessibility comes consequences. Can you think of any negative consequences to the freedom of expression sharing online has given children? So we can see different things, even Nigeria in different times. In recent time, people get to share so many things, and some of this information could be true. Some of them, of course, they could be wrong. But what we are saying here is that when you are sharing, we or whatever our children will be sharing, we need to have this conversation. We need to establish that relationship or that communication with them, to let them see what is right to share and what is not right to share, right? And there is something we call digital footprint. People can really track you and trace you based on the things you share, right? So we need to be very, very careful about things that we share. And this is the conversation we need to have with our children, so that they can be mindful of the things they share online. So teach them about their digital footprint. Together with your children, you can search online for yourself or a musician that they love, and talk about what you find. You may want to check the result in advance. Talk about what others can learn about you from these results, and how you develop a digital footprint online. Um, help minimize The second thing is help minimize social comparison. Make sure that your child knows that what friends share online is just one part of the whole story, and it is usually the highlight. Remind them that everyone also has boring and sad or embarrassing moments that they don't share. Of course, you see some very high class people sharing different things that are very fancy, and they might think that life is a bed of roses. It's very cozy for those guys. Nobody shares information of him or she being in a village. You hardly see that online. So people share the good side of things that are happening to them. So we need to really have that conversation with our children, so that they can minimize social comparison, so that they can be sure that, yes, it's not as if the way it is what people are saying. Teach them about oversharing. Brainstorm solutions for oversharing, such as taking down what was shared, or fixing privacy settings. If it happens, help keep things in perspective. Some embarrassing moments are serious, but others are just good learning moments. So we need to also ensure that they are aware of some people we call even oversharer out there. Whatever information they post out there, it's not only going to stay on their social media page. Other people can get to see it, and they can get to share it. So you need to have that conversation with them, to let them see that this information can can either make them or mar them, even in the nearest future. So we need to have that conversation with them. Establish your family values online around harassment and bullying. Be clear about how you expect them to act online, treating others as they would like to be treated, and saying online only what they would say face to face are great places to start. So what I don't want other people to do to me, it's not good to do it to other people. I mean, these are part of it's one of the conversations you need to have with them, to say, if there's somebody's, get to say this about you, would you feel comfortable? Would you really like it? Are you going to be cool with it? So you need to have this conversation with them, just so they can really see in real picture what you're trying to talk to them about. So let's move on because of our time. Our family values. You need to establish family values, like what the kind of information you want them to share. Once it goes beyond this, please don't share. You need to do that. You have to create rules around what to share. I mean, this will really help your family, to be more aware about managing their online information, right? So establish family values online. Be clear about how you expect them to act. You need to draw it like you are painting a picture, about what exactly you want them to do. Talk about online harassment. Talk about the power of positive messages online. How positive, messages can really help, other people out there. How it can give a sense of hope, and how it can even, give them a kind of digital footprint, that people will really admire. So this is about values, family values, that we just talked about. If you have any question, please just drop it in the comment box. We will surely answer your question. Just because of our time, we need to move on. Discover family content. So, in this section, we will demonstrate where possible the tools that can be used to filter and control what can be seen online. How do children use the internet? What kind of apps do they use, and what kind of content do they consume? I mean, that's more like the conversation we want to have here. So, what kind of content are children exposed to online? Many of these they come across will depend on your child's age and maturity level. Get a sense of which of these are most worrying to parents, and and how do they currently monitor if their children has come. So, I mean, these are more like the conversation, you really want to know, you want to really analyze the kind of content that your child is exposed to, and really work with them on the basis of those contents. I mean, I know it will be worrisome for you if they are really exposed to adults, content that are really meant for adults, right? So let's move on so that we can see the kind of restrictions that we can use to ensure that they are not exposed to the content, the kind of content that are meant for adults. Family Link provides a comprehensive set of features for finding and managing family-friendly content. Set content restrictions in Google Play through Family Link. So you can set content restrictions, and this will prevent your child from seeing content that are meant for adults, right? We can set that with the help of Family Link. You won't be seeing pop-ups, and your children will not be seeing pop-ups, and in that way you can really tell that yes, they are safe. And you can even set filters for web browsing, such as turning off your safe search, right? You can turn on your safe search just in case they are on their laptop. Safe search can be turned on so that content that are beyond their age, would not be seen by them, right? So that's more like how we can set restriction and guidelines, or set up parental controls directly on your browser. I mean, it is very easy to do if you use a Google Chrome browser, and it's even inbuilt with Safari, and for Firefox as well. Okay, so I think I've mentioned something about turning on your safe search. So it helps you to filter explicit content out of search results. So content that are not meant for children, turning on safe search will help you to filter it, and it will not come their way. So that's more like the way to really safeguard your child from seeing content that are meant from adults. So this is how to turn it on. Go to search settings, under safe search filter, check or unlock the box next to turn on safe search. I mean, that's more like the step to take. And at the bottom of the page, select save, right? So that's the way to make use of safe search to protect your child from seeing content that are meant for adults. Yeah, so YouTube, there is a restriction there, so that videos that are not meant for your children, they won't get to see it. So make use of those links. YouTube community guidelines include guides on nudity or sexual content, hateful content, harmful or dangerous content, and violent or graphic content. So content that promiscuous will not come to your children's way when you turn on the restricted mode for your children, right? So there's YouTube for kids too, and this is part of the application that we even have on Family Link, right? So there are some interesting applications on Family Link as well. So not only that it protects your child from seeing, external things, it also supplies them with educational applications that will really help them academically, right? So one of the applications is Read Along. For some of us, we are very used to Read Along. We've been using it and we've been enjoying it, enjoying the use of it. Our children, have been using it and they have been having great fun. Read Along is a speech-based reading app designed to help primary grade kids learn to read anytime, anywhere, just using their voices. So that's basically what Read Along does. It's pre-installed, on the Family Link setting. So once you download Family Link, Read Along comes up automatically with it. So you can make use of it. There is a tutor called Bia. There is a library of stories and awards and rewards for children to be won. I'm sure some of us right now we have already gone far with Read Along, so I wouldn't be spending so much time on that. Develop your reading skills with Read Along. Of course, some kids are better in the last 2 months that some of us have started using Read Along for our children. So how do you protect your family from negative content, right? So let's have that conversation. How do you ensure that they are not seeing negative content? I mean, you need to have that conversation with them. More like think before you click. Maybe just take like 3 or 5 seconds before you click it. And even as an adult, we need to also think before we click anything out there, and also you can as well supervise if you can. If you can try and be in the same room as your child when they are online, that way you can keep an eye out for what kind of content they are accessing. So sometimes you need to know what they are doing to really know the kind of conversation you can have with them, right? So you can just maybe one day of the week or 3, 4, 5 times in a month, you can just have a digital time in your family and get to know what they are doing online, just so you can have a sense of the information they have access to, the platform they are seeing, and you can advise them accordingly. Right. So start a conversation, think before you click, supervise if you can. Those are the three major ideas that we are letting out to you, and you can make use of for your family. I don't know if you have any question. If you have any question, just drop it in the comment box. We'll take your questions. Protect your family's security and privacy. I mean, this is where setting button comes into play. You can demonstrate how to adjust privacy setting, on social media apps, even on the password and also even on their devices as well, right? So, I mean, these are the things that you can do on your child's phone. So what is the most popular social media platform for kids? I'm sure some people would say TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and all. Yeah, I mean, we have quite a number of them. So we live online, children as well as adults, like to post pictures online. Our online profiles also share a lot of personal information about us, such as age, school, location, activities, and the likes. Unfortunately, this type of information only helps scammers and groomers to manipulate children. With children removing the privacy setting, that leaves a lot of information open on the web for anyone to use. So what we need to do basically, like I said, is to ensure that the setting is right. It's like a road that they have never, applied before. we need to walk them through the road, right? So there is what we call stranger danger online, and we have identity fraud, and we have cyberbullying, right? These are three things that we need to quickly talk about on how we can ensure that our children are very secured online. So the first thing we want to talk about is stranger danger online, which is online grooming. It's also known as online grooming. Is a word used to describe people befriending children in order to take advantage of them for sexual purposes. It is easy to pretend to be someone else on the internet. So children can sometimes end up having conversations with people whose real identities they may not know. Let's start by understanding some of the things to look out for. Right. So when what to look out for when this is already happening, the signs that you see, being sensitive about who they are talking to online, using sexual language you wouldn't expect them to know. I mean, these are the signs that you get to see. Switching screens when you come near the computer, right? These are the signs that you get to see, that would really tell you that your child is doing XYZ online when they are using some sexual languages that you didn't expect them to use, when they are very sensitive or they are being careful about things that they talk to you about, when they are trying to switch in between screens, once they feel your presence, right? So you need to be aware of all these instances and take necessary action. Um, how do you speak to your child about online grooming? I read a story about an adult pretending to be a child online. Have any of your friends experienced anything similar? You can imagine the tone of this story. So is you want to have this conversation with your children, but you are not saying it directly. You are painting a scenario, and that in turn is making them to talk, right? So that's more like a way to have this kind of conversation, right? A good way, is to paint a scenario, talk about you know something you read on the news, or something you heard on the news, right? I mean, different things that you must have seen in the past. Just use that to it can also be your personal information. It can be something that has to do with you, right? So you can use that to have this conversation with them, and again, make sure you agree on the rules. Make sure you end it somewhere, and a way to end it somewhere is by creating more like some family values, right? So let's move on. Talk about the risk of the story, right? And make sure your child knows that not everyone online is who they say they are. Encourage them to come and talk to you if they are not sure about the identity of someone online, right? So that's a way to really have that conversation. Yeah, agree the rules on the rules. Discuss with your family about where you stand on sharing information with strangers online, keeping secrets from parents and boundaries to individual pride, sharing pictures of their bodies. I mean, these are the rules that you need to make clear. Say it's a no-no in the family, right? Stay engaged. Though it is something that we need to keep doing every time. Don't feel that, oh, since I've done it this week or this month, I'm not going to do it for the rest of the year. No, I mean, make sure um, when you have the opportunity, make sure you speak up. Make sure you are having this conversation with your children, because those people out there, they are not sleeping, they are not resting. They want to get our children, at all costs. So ensure that as a parent, you are also, playing your role. Make sure you are having that conversation with them. Don't feel that they are too small. Don't feel that they are too small to understand it. You know, you will be shocked, you know, of the kind of information they have at their disposal. From time to time, review their social media together. You or a family member might want to be, you know, their, you know, friend online to ensure that they are making sensible choices. If you do friend them on or watch and observe rather than, you know, take part. So sometimes you can be their friend, you know, online, just to ensure that you are seeing what they are posting out there, and you are just watching their activities out there, right? So it's not as if you are policing them. It's not as if you are not giving them liberty, but you are just trying to ensure that they are doing the right thing. It is important to note, just like adults, children may be at risk of having their online identities stolen and misused. It can be difficult to maintain a child's privacy as they may not understand what information is safe to share online or what default privacy settings are on the site and devices they are using. If a child's identity is stolen, it may not be noticed for many years and could, in some cases, lead to a child being the victim of blackmail, grooming, or bullying. Let's start by understanding some of the things to look out for, right? So, um, you may start to suspect your child's identity has been stolen if they get a bill, a bill for something they haven't ordered. You know, just imagine uh, your child receives an email that says, "Oh, you have won something," or "This is a prize that you need to claim," and they didn't apply for anything, and you know that is coming to them. So you need to really, really watch that. Start to get emails from an organization they don't recognize, receive any letter regarding government benefits or tax payments. Please and please ensure that you are very careful, and you are watching all of this information, you know, when you see it, and you are taking the right action, and you need to act immediately when you get this kind of information. So how should I protect my child from identity theft? Check their online privacy settings, number one. Number two, check their device settings. Number three, find out what is already out there. Number four, take action and go incognito. I mean, let me just pause a bit here so that I know some of us are quickly writing this down. So look at the 4 steps that will really guide you in ensuring that your child is protected online. So you can quickly write down the 4 steps, you know, so that you can make use of it after we are done with this training. I'm sure we have written it. Okay, so let's move on. Enable privacy setting across social media platforms. We've recognized some of these social media platforms, the popular ones like YouTube, like Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, you know, quite a number, right? So ensure that you help them to set up their settings. Ensure that you work with them on their privacy settings, right? So that they can really, really be secured, so that whenever they are even posting information that is meant for family will remain at family level. Information that is meant for general people can be shared out there. So just ensure that you work with them, you know, on the settings button. Enable privacy settings, you know, on YouTube, right? So YouTube is a little different to the others in that you change the privacy settings on the videos. Open your YouTube app and click on your profile icon to access account menu. Choose your channel, choose the options button next to any videos. On the privacy setting, choose between private unlisted or public. Unlisted means that you can share the video through a link, but won't be available to people who are just browsing. So, I mean, all of this, and a good thing about it is that you can even type it on Google and you will see the step by step, right, on how to really enable the privacy setting. So, I mean, that's the same way, and that's what we already discussed. Talk to your children about setting strong password. Of course, it is very good for us to have this conversation about creating a very strong password, and you will be amazed, about what creating strong password can um, help you do in terms of securing your children online. Not all passwords are created equal, and many passwords are easily guessed by hackers. So if you want to create a strong password, use uppercase and lowercase letters, use symbols, ensure that it is more than not uh, less than 8 characters. Use the play with symbols and everything. So that's more like how to create a strong password. And please don't use your nickname for password. Don't use date of birth. This all of these are very easy to guess by hackers. Ensure that you use a password that is very strong for your child or for your children. Ensure that you also teach them on how to create a very strong password. So now we move straight to cyberbullying. This is very common in this age and time. Cyberbullying is everywhere. People are not bullying um, physically anymore. The bullying has gone online, right? So that's why we need to also um, be conscious, or be in tune with our children to really know what is happening out there, to really know how they are finding online platforms. It's really important that children who are bullied online know what simple steps they can take to help them to cope and how to ask for support. So we need to also look at do's and don'ts to give you as parents, some support, right? Because this is the thing. Sometimes they don't get to talk about it, right? But if you make them feel welcomed, they will easily talk to you about, what they are experiencing or what they are going through that they are not cool with, right? So, what do you think cyberbullying is? How is it different to other forms of bullying, right? I need your responses. I want you to, put that in the comment section for us while we move on. So face-to-face bullying, then we have cyberbullying, smaller audience within close quarters. Uh, for cyberbullying, reach a vast audience in a matter of seconds. Yeah, limit for face-to-face, limited to those within view. For cyberbullying, hurtful comments and images being shared multiple times. Yeah, for face-to-face bullying, bully can be identified. For cyberbullying, offer a degree of anonymity to the perpetrator. For face-to-face, easier to prove and punish. For cyberbullying, difficult to police and to punish. So cyberbullying is very tricky, and we need to also play our roles as individuals, as parents, to ensure that our children are able to talk to us whenever they are experiencing this. So we need to make them feel welcome. We need to ensure that uh, we are kind of people that they can talk to, right? So these are some of the terms online there. We have harassment. Harassment means targeting an individual or group with persistent and offensive messages, which could develop into cyber talking. Then we have what we call outing. Outing is simply publicly sharing personal, private, or embarrassing information, photos of or videos about someone online. We have trolling. It's deliberately posting provocative and insulting messages about sensitive subjects or inflicting racism on an individual. We have also what we call bans. Not really serious about it. Kids could be cruel, but get away with it by saying it was just for bands of fun. So it's more like, something you do, but you're doing it in a funny way, but it's having another bad meaning, right? So we have what we call roasting as well. Roasting is ganging up on an individual online and sending offensive abuse until the victim is seen to crack. We also have griefing, which is abusing and angering people through online gaming, right? So these are some of the terms out there. It's quite important for us as parents to get familiar, with some of these terms so that when we see them, we can quickly recognize that, oh, this is what it is, right? So what to look out for, we are almost done. You guys, you are doing well. We are almost done. So what to look out for when you may start to suspect your child is being bullied online. Uh, when your child stop using their electronic devices suddenly or unexpectedly, seeming nervous or jumpy, when using their devices or becoming obsessive about being constantly online, reluctance to go to school or take part in usual social activities. These are some of the signs. These are the things that we need to uh, really be aware of. So it's important to know what to look out, and just as important to know how to have a conversation about it. So, how to talk to your children about bullying? Do's, find out why. Don't get upset. Do's, talk it through. Don't, don't ignore it. Do, teach by example. Don't, don't condone it. Do, learn from it. Don't, don't take away their devices. I mean, so these are the things that you can do when you notice this, and these are the things that you shouldn't do when you notice those things. So don't take it to the extreme. They need your love at that point. They need your attention. So don't push them away. Don't condemn them, right? So these are the things that we can really do to help our children. What are some ways you would bring up bullying with your children? Like, if you want to have that conversation, like we said, I mean, we've discussed so many methods that we can use. Of course, some of us already know that already. Of course, if you have any question, I want you to put it in the box, right? So I mean, these are some of um, the the things that we need to really understand about cyberbullying and online security as a whole, and we need to really have that conversation with our children, like, immediately. I mean, you don't have to prolong this, right? And there are so many resources out there, that can as well guide you in ensuring that you are even better aware, so that you can really safeguard your children online. Sometimes we face the challenge of not even knowing what our children are doing. So some of them are even a bit more advanced than us. So it's quite important that we also equip ourselves with the right information. We are also following the trend so that we can advise them accordingly, so that they can really see us as someone they can come to. Because just imagine if you don't understand the word outing, and your child is speaking and he or she uses the word, and you're like, what is happening? Maybe next time such is happening, he or she is not willing to have that conversation with you again, because it feels that you will not even know what it's talking about, or you won't be able to advise, accordingly. So it's quite important for us to also research, and continue to refresh ourselves, so that we can use this even for ourselves, and help our children do the right thing online. All right, so there's safety.google. We can, go online. We can go on Google. We can type safety.google, just so we can really get some of these tips, online tips, online safety tips, so that we can really, really equip ourselves for our children. Right. So be internet awesome. We have this smart, alert, strong, kind, brave. For the smart is, of course, share with care. Be internet alert, don't fall for fake. Be strong, secure your secret. Be internet kind. It is cool to be kind. Be internet brave. When in doubt, talk it out. Right. I mean, these five elements, it's like five pillars. If our children are able to learn all of this and become it, of course, they are considered to be internet awesome. Right. So let's try as much as possible to really um, see how we can uh, really train or teach our children on how to be internet awesome. Yeah, so there is a place where we can even find help. There is Interland game, and it's an awesome game that helps our children to really learn while playing games. So just imagine, rather than playing an ordinary game, your child is playing game, and your child is being educated about how to become safe online. So that's more like what this Interland game would really help your child to achieve, right? It's digital well-being family guide. Of course, it's online, wellbeing.google/families/determine, right? So you can also go there so that you can get some resources, out there, right? So the tips for engaging with your child: talk early and talk often. We've said that several times. Choose the right time. Don't choose a bad time for your child. Is not when he or she is having a nice time with his friends, or watching a video, watching a game, playing a game, that you want to have that conversation. You want it to be when he's more relaxed, and it's the right time to have that conversation. Open up and share too. Don't let it be like um, you are a saint, or you are a saint, or you have never experienced such before. If you have some experiences to share, and some takeaways from it, make sure you also share with your children. It will really help them to really see it, in another light, to really embrace whatever conversation you are having with them. Create a safe space at that conversation. So resources, we have Google Digital Wellbeing, we have YouTube for Kids, we have Family Link, and we have Google Phishing Quiz. These are some of the resources that can really help us in navigating the world of web. All right. So what was your key takeaway from this session? I really want that feedback. I want you to drop that in the comment section. I'm really, really interested in getting your key takeaway. Okay. So if you need to call some numbers, you have some complaints and all, you need some emails. So this as some of uh, um, uh, information that will really help you to reach out to uh, the appropriate authority when there are issues around cyber security. All right. Thank you so much. I'm sure you have had a great time, and I'm sure you have gotten some of this uh, information. I could see your comments. You know, this is really, really cool. Very interesting presentation. Thank you. Thanks for this training. It's so timely. Thank you. Nice one. Great. Quite educating. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. Okay. It's okay. All right. Interesting class. Cyberbullying. I'm trying to see if there are some questions that you would like me to attend to. I'm trying to see if you have any question, you can drop it now. You can drop your question so that we can discuss it. We can discuss the question and we can call it a day. All right. I'm waiting. I'll wait for 1-2 minutes to see if there are questions. If you have any question, please feel free to use the comment section so that we can quickly attend to it. Wait for like 2 minutes to get that done. Okay, if you need any help, I'm also going to drop my email so that if you need any help for any reason, or if you would like this training for another group of people, right, we will be glad to do that. Okay, I'm dropping my email right now. Okay, so I just dropped my email just in case you need any help in terms of this training. You need us to train a group of people, you know, or you need any help around internet security, cyber security, you can please reach out to us. Thank you, Oluwatosin Olaoye. My take home from the session to have a conversation with our children about the do's and don'ts of the internet, prevent them from being bullied. Thanks for the session. Wonderful. Thank you, Oluwatosin. How can cyberbullying in the school be handled? Yes, I mean, wonderful question from Bayonle Oladoja, Mr. Bayonle Oladoja. Thank you so much. Cyberbullying from school, I think, is one of the simplest of bullying because you can really trace where it is coming from. Right. So I think the best thing is for you to talk to the school authority, you know, ensure that you have that conversation with them. And I'm sure they will take the right action because they don't want their school to be labeled a school that is not conducive for learning. Right. So please make sure you have that conversation with the teacher or the principal of the school or the headmaster, you know, anyone you can talk to. And if you can't see any, you know, changes or, you know, any progress, I mean, the right thing to do is to probably pull out your child from the school or you report, you know, to the appropriate authority. Right? So that's more like what can be done to really, really achieve that. Thank you so much for your question. And again, having conversation with your child, to ensure that is aware of those we call bully out there, it will also help for your child to have more like, more like a safe skin, so that the child will not be pushed to the wall, right? So having that conversation with your child as well, before he or she even starts experiencing it, is also a way to go. Right. Thank you so much. Chinwe, very helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Are there more questions? Are there more questions? Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's end it here today. If you have any other information to ask, any other question, you can via my email. Thank you all. God bless you.